How about that intro, huh?
Yeah, let's just stroll down memory lane.
Throwback.
Welcome
Love
that
to
intro. That's
your
awesome.
favorite Friday night late night hashcast. It is Variables. It's the Michigan Bros Grow Show Takeover, episode 41. Cheers, everybody. You can find us live streaming everywhere on your favorite platforms. YouTube.
Cheers, everybody.
Twitch. And that's Superior's X because I still haven't subscribed to Premium.
Cheers,
and
everybody.
Of course, the show on Spotify.
What's up, guys?
Get
that was
podcasts.
awesome seeing that intro, man. I haven't seen that in a while.
I know. It's
Yeah.
It's been a minute. Cheers. Welcome.
I forgot about my
realize
10
how
days.
far back my hairline was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's always fun looking back at old
Still loving
footage.
tent life here.
10 Life is where it all begins. Hey, I just want to let everybody know Pedro's out for the week. I'm sure you saw his post on Instagram, but everybody send him some well wishes as he's recovering, going through what he's going through. But in support of him, and we got the entire MBGS crew here tonight. This is pretty amazing. Even Big Phone, thank you guys all for showing up. This is amazing.
Yeah, this is awesome, guys.
Yeah, thanks
We're
for
here
having
for
us.
that
having us,
vibe,
Yep.
power in numbers, and if all of us do the thing where we stomp our feet and chant, all in a big, powerful MBGS, kind of like Captain Planet type summoning. Pedro, feel better, brother. Sending good vibes your way, man. All for in the sake of healing. Smoke lots of dabs and take good RSO capsules because I know you are.
Hell yeah.
I was just gonna say, I don't think you got to tell our buddy Pedro any of that. He knows all of that.
Yeah, he's on top of that for sure. We'll definitely send some smoke signals throughout the show, and certainly in 54 minutes we got a little special something as well. But so shit, how's everybody doing? What's everybody up to nowadays? Baked, I wanna hone in on you for a minute because I haven't had a chance to talk to you here live on the old YouTubes in a minute. How's everything going, man? How's the how you holding it down at the Trichome Forge? You got some brand new flavors for me or what? I got this Papa Burger Select I'm still trying to hold on to, but it's going quick.
That.
Nothing new yet, but we're rounding up harvest now, or a flower run now. All the stuff Spartan brought back from Spanibus and traded somebody for too.
So more like pheno hunt. You said flower situation, not going extracts. You're really just trying to like figure out what.
No. It's always extract or always extract. We love extract now.
Oh yeah.
So
once you go extract,
so
you don't go back.
Yeah, it's so fucking easy, simple.
No trimming.
By the time it's like Spartan loves to say, by the time we get our product back from the rosin or the BHO maker, we would have just been able to start trimming.
Yes. Yep.
So most of the time, obviously there's variables, but
for sure.
Already.
Look at that. You're welcome back anytime.
Appreciate the plug.
Thank you. You knew the assignment.
But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. We've just been pumping out pheno hunts. I've been going to work, pumping out pheno hunts.
Anything stand out from the Spanibus crop?
Yeah, it's a
the
DNA
chocolopes.
Genetics. Yeah, they're all DNA genetics, and but yeah, those purple phenos of the chocolopes are real. They caught my eye, and I still like. Was it I don't think it was even the Kosher Kush cross. It was the other one, wasn't it?
The Kosher Kushes are kind of a bust. To be frank.
It's Kosher Kush cross the honey bananas, and this is us just eyeballing it and smelling it.
Yeah, this is all eyeball from growing.
But the honey bananas and the
OG 18 Clementine.
Yeah, that one
times honey banana. That one had some interesting ones. Like one of them smelled like, until today, smelled like straight OG. Like kind of gas funk. That old. And then today it's really starting to lean into like more of a fruity clementine, I think. We'll see what it ends up with, but a couple of those have just, I don't know, like 3-4 inch wide colas. They're just massive, OG.
Okay.
And then
is it mostly like tops, or is it going down the stem of like half a dozen or more node spaces?
Maybe mostly tops, I'd say, but I mean the buds are still pretty big. They're just not those massive grenades.
Yeah,
that you see from all you can tell. All this shit is like old school though.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some ugly ones that just don't even like light, but like I don't cater too much like nutrient or light wise because there's usually 20 phenos in there, so it's just like, and there's only 4 lights, so you're where you're at, you're not moving, and just that way I get I find out about that pheno anyways. But I haven't had this happen where one of the it might be a kosher kush, but it might be an OG. One of those phenos is just uglier than sin. It's not producing, it's not stacking as people would say,
Mm-hmm.
and we're way deep into flower. The chocolates though, they're outperforming everybody. They're
Really?
almost done, I think. And what's today? 26. We started on June 1st
June 1st. Yeah.
was day
dang.
1, so that we made it easy.
So
And
56 days so far.
yeah, and dude, those chocolates, I gotta go try them tonight, but I think they're getting close. And that's
Wow.
for a Thai haze, and
They're very hazy kind of
they're
smelling.
very hazy looking, smelling. Like I'm pretty excited for the high on that. One of them though, it still has that kind of chocolate smell to me. It's kind
Nice.
of like this
What?
like weird.
Is it purple one?
Yeah, it's the other purple one that's further away
Spartan's
from
like,
the middle.
it's the purple one, right? It's the
Oh,
purple
there's a green
Yeah.
one too. That's interesting.
Well, the green one's interesting because it's just hairy.
Yeah.
One of the hairiest plants I've seen in a while.
I get that out of the kosher tangy. Like those tangy crosses throw some thick orange pistils when they're done.
The pistils
They're
haven't
thick
turned
white
orange
all the way
yet.
through. Okay.
None of
Big-
them.
big
They're all
white
still
hairs.
white. Yeah, they're big white hairs everywhere. It's that old. Yeah.
Are the leaves fading?
No. On the
Okay.
purple ones, yes.
Okay. So
not on
what
the
I would
green one.
say with the hazes, in my experience, is you always think you can chop them earlier than you can because they stack on these fat nugs and stuff, but they don't get dense until real late. And so
Yeah,
give those nugs. I mean, the OG ones, like that's probably a different story, but like when you're talking like clementine, the tangy type stuff, just give those a couple tops to squeeze the glove on and just kind of see, because you might be surprised giving it the old saying 2 more weeks, it might actually beef it up, especially if they're not fading. That's kind of the one thing I look for. Like,
Oh yeah. The OGs and kosher table, because it's kind of 2 tables right now. And the OG, they're exactly what you're kind of describing.
okay.
And the OG 18 has clementine in it. That's what that is. So that would make sense. Like I haven't squeezed them, but now I'm going to. And but the chocolate, and obviously it could be light stress, but it's kind of up and down the plant. The chocolate. Oh, there's Pedro. What's up, Pedro? The chocolate does that. I don't know what you guys want to call it these days. Crowning. Where it's
On
just
the leaf
like
curl,
the
like
typical. No, on the bud, the haze,
Okay.
where like all the little.
It's fatter at the top.
Do you ever watch the Lord of the Rings? Like Sauron, his crown had lots of
Yeah, how it's kind of uneven. Yeah, it's like all the buds kind of do that, and that's what I remember Hayes is kind of doing. They just took way longer. So we'll see what it does. I'm excited though. Purple from the get-go, as soon as it started forming buds.
Interesting.
So yeah.
My oh man, I gotta say, Chocolate is one of my envied strains because that was one of those strains that was recommended, like highly recommended to me very early on. And we're talking 2000 and I don't know, 17, 16, 15, something like that, or probably 15 or earlier now that I think about it. And I, got a pack of seeds, and I don't know if it's on my YouTube, I'll have to look, but I did that thing that we always tell people not to do. And I gave it that laser death stare and I was watching over it too much to the point where I shouldn't have been messing with things, and I messed with things, and my fan and my box turned off, and it was just, I cooked them, I fried them, I killed the seedlings before they got past the cotyledons, and there's no coming back from that, and that was it. And I just never went and got another pack, and I've just been sad ever since. So I'm really excited that you guys got that going in your garden, and the fact that you're pheno hunting it and doing it like professionally, and with some high level of regard for what the plan is. I'm very curious to see what you guys see, and I'm even more interested in partaking.
Yeah.
How
No.
many-
Yeah. That's
Well,
yeah.
Well, where I'm
How
really
many
How many are you
excited.
chocolate
pheno
ones?
hunting right now?
How many? What?
Different cultivars do you have right now? Because you named a couple there.
Just three. Just three.
Just
So
three.
they're all DNA genetics. You basically have kosher Kush times honey banana. And Spartan got that one from Spanibus. I think they were doing big honey banana crosses.
It was the Legends of Heshish event in Spanish.
Legends
Right,
of Hashish, yep. And then the other one was it literally on the packet said OG18 Clem times honey banana. So I'm guessing
Honey
just
banana
Clem
must be a
times.
dumper or something, because I've been
Well,
seeing that
I
a lot.
also
with
like
some,
we have old ladies that pluck our. They're not old. They're
Oh,
they're older than me. But they come in and they pluck our leaves, and one of them I mentioned something, or she maybe was she mentioned honey banana, and I was like, "What do you know about honey banana?" She's like, "Oh, I love it. I had it recently," and I was like, "Okay." And then I heard it somewhere else again. I was like, and then he brought those from Spanibus. I was like, "Well, shit,
Just look at that
let's
last
run
sentence
them."
there, Girly.
Rich in oil, making them a prime option for extraction purposes.
Pew, 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 pew.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm serious. I've been seeing all the solventless people running
that would
honey
make
banana
sense.
crosses.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of it until today. That's why I had to Google it and look it up.
I hadn't heard
I
of it
have
till he
4
brought it back.
crosses.
I haven't heard
Yeah.
of it either.
I have 4 crosses in my freaking fridge right now.
Love it.
So yeah, we have those two on one table, and then the other table is kind of a mismatch, but it was meant to be chocolate, but it's got also like a kosher and a chocolate that took too long on the
How
end
many
of
of
it.
each of them are you running then? You just a few of each, like a pack of each, or are you running like?
Yeah, it's just a
Okay.
pack of each that he
Nice.
had. Like next time, like right behind that in veg right now, we have AJ's, not AJ's, East
Sour
Coast,
D.
no. Yeah, I guess it's a
I
Top
thought it
Dog
was
Sour
one
D.
with the sour D. I thought.
So Top Dog Sour D F3, and then 2 packs of the BX4. And so that's a little bit more, like one strain, kind of themed. Just like our first one was, our first and second. First was Triple Burger, and then Spartan Puke. It was all that. So, but like our next one, we were just looking at some stuff because I lost my Donnie Burger cut, so I want to get Donnie Burger back. And then I got like some packs from like Skunk and Respect.
Skirt. How'd you lose the cut?
So at work, we get a huge box of cubes, right?
Root riots.
Well, we don't want root rides. We usually order cube plugs. They
Okay.
gave us root rides by mistake. We said, oh well, let's
Oh,
give
no.
them a run. We have them. And I didn't believe this at first. I was like, I don't know if it's just the cubes. But we lost a bunch, and it was like the first time I've ever seen where we had to go get some clones and fill in some holes at work. And then, so we obviously didn't continue. They instantly blamed the cubes, and so we went and got new cubes for work. And then I was like, well, let me. That seems like a shame to throw all those out. let me just take those. And they had no problem, so I took them home, and I didn't think there was a problem with them. I kind of let them sit. They didn't look moldy or anything weird, so I ended up using them, and I ended up losing like 18 strains in the veg. They just
Ouch.
Holy
some
shit,
of
dude.
them
That's a
wouldn't
lot.
root. Some of them would
Goodness.
root and then die right after. They just kind of tilt over.
Ugh.
Maybe
It
they're
was the
doing
same
something
thing that
differently with
happened
them.
at,
I've never
Yeah,
at
had
sure it
any
work.
wasn't
trouble with root
user
riots.
error.
I've
I
never
don't
had
know.
any trouble with root
Because
riots. That's
same
the only
trains,
thing I've
there
ever
was like
bought.
other,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I
But
love
I
my
don't,
root riots.
yeah. I don't
For
know.
me, they're
I'm
just
not. I'm
no
not
brainer.
blaming the Root Riot Company. Relax,
Oh yeah,
everyone who
no.
uses Root Riots. You guys
Hey,
are
listen, we
about
have no sponsors here,
Yeah.
so
I
feel
understand,
free.
but people get so personal in this
No,
game.
not at all.
Relax.
You could have had like
I'm
a
telling you,
acidic batch or
the
something.
box. That's what I'm saying. We
Yep.
get a box of 3,000. We're not getting your bags of 100. We're getting a box of 3,000. I'm saying that box had like a mold or just a nasty bacteria. And I still have them in the garage. I told Spartan, I was like, I'm half tempted to give them a hydrogen peroxide bath, let them dry out, and then rehydrate them because they're just peat and glue.
Right.
You could boil them
But
in a big old
yeah,
vat
or
outside.
something like that. But yeah, so I think that's the cause. No, I mean it's a shame, but like it also took a huge workload off my plate. So
That's true.
like
Bro,
it was
Sounds like
shit I was
bullshit.
holding, and a lot of it we can get back. Spartan has some of it. I know I can get like all the basics like GMO, stuff like that. We've always wanted to get our own Donnie by hunting this pack, so it's just a good push in that
Good chance
direction.
to
But
reset, right?
yeah, exactly. It's just a universe reset.
Yeah, we took the hint. He's like, all right,
But
we got Pack of Donnie.
yeah, and then I pulled this out, and I think Spartan's pretty set on it. I forgot I had this Tropisanto, which is Tropicana cookies times GMO.
Yeah,
oh,
So we're thinking
okay.
about running that
I
and
mean,
some
I
other
could get
stuff.
behind that one.
like orange.
T-
and
TK Burger. He doesn't like this one, but I do.
Yeah, Mike, fuck that one.
Why? What is it?
It's Donnie Burger. He doesn't like TK,
Oh, I got you.
but we may compromise at the forge, and
Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
did.
run this. And I don't like Tropicana cookies, so.
There you go.
But we'll
Win some, you
see.
lose some, right? It's the beauty of
So
having.
that's the next top. But we're getting real close to the second flower room being done. So then that'll be monocrop, and that's when it's like that
That's
Papa
where-
Select you have, which is my favorite right now that I have. But that's still like 3 phenos. I'd like to see it as 1, but I lost it. But I
Yeah, no.
have I have like 4 or 5 more packs worth of it because my buddy gave them to me he just had them and he's not gonna run them. So we'll find something just as unique and delicious. But
Is there a like kind of like a limit to how many phenos of one strain you want to have at a time, or is that specifically just based on what?
at this point, I'm getting down to like I want 1. I really do want to limit to 1.
Okay, but what about during the pheno hunt? Are you going to select that one after
During the
one?
pheno, we're kind of lenient. Like I don't know, anywhere from 2 to 4.
Honestly,
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know if we've ever went down to just 1. It's usually at least 2 because it's my favorite and his.
Yeah, that's kind of actually what. Yeah, like
And it's
Spartan
rarely
we did
the
that.
same.
14 was his favorite. 19 was mine.
Well, listen, you guys have a better perspective on that than anyone else outside of that garden is going to have. So you guys whittling it down from however many it may be, whether it's 2, 4, a dozen, or 2 dozen, down to 2, says a lot for those 2 plants. And then for you guys to take those and, say go to Gems and Genetics or something like that and say, hey, what is everyone else like? That's where that kind of feedback is going to kind of probably solidify one or the other, probably.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm kind of I support your decision of not just whittling it down to 1 immediately, because I do think these plants deserve a second run most of the time. And I do feel like
totally against that.
I know, because you were the one that was telling me to
that.
just pick one of the what was it, raspberry parfait? I think it was. Yeah, just pick one. I'm like, no,
it's not gonna be a problem when we have the monocrop room, because even though I call it a mono, we can still do like it's 2 4x8 tables, so I can still be like when we had Spartan Puke, 19 and 14, we can be like 19 on that table, 14 on that. That's so much of each that we can send some to BHO, send some to solventless, and then obviously we already know the flower. Like that's how we did with the Spartan Puke. We kept like I want to say 4 or 5, but by the time I started smoking some of the tops, because we usually keep like 1 top of each, we were like, well, we don't need that. And then we easily whittle it to what we really thought we were gonna anyways. Once we factored in smoke, very little factor in, but looks, growth, and then taste and all that. No
Really
particular
important.
order there. But yeah, that's what I meant by smoke.
Yeah.
But that's always our priority is high, and then second is flavor.
Okay.
I want to get something that gets me the high, like GMO and all that good stuff I like. But then I also want, I want to be able to taste that on the exhale and stuff. Or when I smoke a joint, I don't want to taste the paper and stuff like that.
So I want to know from both of you.
For sure.
I want to know from both of you guys. There you go. We had a bunch of GMOs in here. I want to know from both you guys, at what point are you willing to sacrifice those commercial, and I'm going to use that word because you guys have experience in it, those commercial let's call them goals of a strain, like be it a 56
Bag
day
appeal, THC, and speed.
And name.
And oh yeah,
The
well
hype,
name's
right?
stupid. Yeah, well that's
So-
the thing. We don't give it those are literally like last on our list. Like you mentioned earlier with the customer base, love our customers. But we're putting out what we like.
right. And that's
And
what you
if
should.
you like it, there it is, and enjoy it. If not, there's a lot of other people with other flavors. That's what's awesome about cannabis. So
Mhm.
Yeah, how many people did we recommend to go talk to for Growly? Literally 2 bolts down.
yeah, yeah. It was
Every
like,
time someone asked me for solventless, I was sending them down here.
yeah, that's the thing. It's
Exactly. There's always
can't.
options, right? But I want to know, is there a breaking point at which a 56-day strain is worth it because it has bag appeal, it's frosty, and it finishes in 56 days, but maybe
It's not-
doesn't have that flavor effect you look
That
for?
doesn't matter
it's
either.
not. I'll tell you. It's not noted. It's
Right.
not like we don't notice it.
Mhm.
If
Right.
that's all cherries on top though. So it's like, oh whoa, that one got me so high and tasted so good. Then we start going like, well, how long did it take to flower, and what did it look like?
It's got to pass that.
Also,
smoke.
we're picky as fuck, and I don't want to say lazy, but we're like work smart, not hard. So
Yeah.
like growth,
100%.
like node spacing,
Well, we understand.
trimability, easy to pluck before like a fresh frozen harvest.
Mhm.
That stuff matters a lot to us
Yeah.
because I hate,
Oh,
Blue
stringers.
Dream's so cool and all, till you grow it. In my opinion,
Yeah.
it's leafy,
Yeah.
messy, bitch. But
Garlic punch, on the other hand, bro. Oh, chef's kiss.
yeah,
That's the
it's how
perfect
you're
fresh
like,
frozen
yeah,
plant.
yeah.
The
We had
leaves
we
literally
had
can
something
pluck
at
them. You don't
work.
have to use scissors the entire time. The sugar leaves, they're coated in sugar. That's what they're there for. You just pluck them right off. It's great.
We
But I
had
think
Sherb
think-
Z at work, and I think some chick. It was like that. It was so easy to trim and all that. I think some chick. I'd have to go back and look. They post all, but I want to say she did 14 pounds in a day. It was so easy to trim.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
She got paid.
Yeah, yeah. So,
But I think it's
but
that
yeah,
experience that we've had in commercial that helps us make those quick decisions as far as not only looking at a plant structure and how it grows and being like, that one's not going to make the cut. We can cut that bitch now. We can do that because we've seen it. Like we've seen plants that look just like that and go
Martin,
through it.
think
It
about-
wasn't worth it in the end.
Think
And then
about
it
how
makes-
many more just physical plants or variations of plants that you've seen than, for example, Superior I have seen, because we've never been daily in a commercial grow, right? I've been in a lot of commercial facilities, but not daily like that. Over the course of the entire grow cycle, 100 times, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna have a way broader perspective than 99% of growers out there, just because you've had that experience. No, just use it for good. You know what I mean? And that's the smell and the taste and the effects. It's not the life cycle of the plant or necessarily the bag appeal or whatever. Red, you were trying to say something. I know you're on probably different internet tonight, but did you have something you want to chime in with?
I don't know what I was trying to say. I was in the
Okay.
moment.
As he's trying to roll up a joint. So, all right. Well, now tell me, where are you at and what are you up to this weekend? Because I see a sweet wristband on your wrist, you little festival guy. What's going on?
I also got a sword. I don't know if you can see it. There it is.
I thought that was a
oh,
joint.
dope.
Looks like a dab tool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like a
even
sweet
better.
There it
dab
goes.
tool.
Oh, it's a Arabian.
Yeah, it was given to me by like a 10-year-old kid. So I don't think it's a dab tool because he was like 10 years old. But
Little does he know.
the story goes, he either made it or he traded somebody else something for it. But either way, I traded him a pendant for it. And so I got the cool handmade sword and he got the cool pendant. Another interesting fact is this is actually a double head nail. It's not a normal nail that this sword is made out of. So it's a forged sword made out of a forming nail, not a framing nail, but like a forming, like a nail used for making cement forms, so you can pull them out. It's got 2 heads on it, so it seats right there at the bottom head. That way you can pull it back out and remove your concrete forms. So forming nail. And what's funny is I just learned with these double head nails, the application for these double head nails. I just learned about them this morning, watching a video.
Perfect
Talking
timing.
about something to speak
Right.
of. Yeah,
That's what
dude,
drew
talk
you
about a
to it.
serendipitous moment.
Right.
And so where I was and in the moment of serendipity was at the Divine Pine Gathering here in Irish Hills, Brooklyn, Michigan. And that's where we are. So Michigan International Speedway is also here in Brooklyn, Michigan, home of NASCAR. Woo hee ha! And the of course Faster Horses Festival, and they've got a big electronic festival going on this year. But it's a big huge racetrack, as a matter of fact. I don't know how many hundreds, thousands of acres that they hold on their property, but it's a very large. A highway actually runs through the middle of their property. It's so big. The Divine Pine Gathering is right across the street from Michigan International Speedway, and if you're familiar with the area, it is a very lush, vibrant green zone down here in southern Michigan, surrounded by lots of agriculture. Irish Hills, Michigan is a little sweet spot of. There's some farms, but it's a lot of state land, a lot of protected gaming forests and land and areas. But the Divine Pine Gathering is very amazing, man. And we actually saw some seriously old trees on this beautiful property that we were on today. If you're familiar with Chris Trump and KNF and Korean natural farming, fermentation, and using indigenous microbes, IMO or anything like that, Chris Trump teaches seminars on that, and he was part of the regenerative conference. I attended at Grow Green in 2019, and I got a chance to sit on one of his seminars back then, and he's actually speaking tomorrow. I have the itinerary right here in front of me. He's speaking at what was it? I think he's speaking at like 3:45. Yeah, there he goes. The Agricultural Renaissance, Natural Farming with Chris Trump, 3:45 to 5:15 tomorrow. So if you're in Irish Hills, Brooklyn, Michigan, show on up to that.
Cool.
That's going to be very interesting. The whole thing is eco-friendly. You know, we got invited out as we applied and got invited as vendors. We're there through Rosemary's Oasis, and we have handmade art that we brought, botanicals from our garden, tea blends, things like that. We also brought our pet-friendly products, as well as hair oil, some glass art from Diligent Glass, some stained glass from Tube Socks, who did some work for us. And so we're there just supporting the eco-friendly industry here. This is actually an alcohol-free event. It's actually advertised as no alcohol. So trying to keep it the least amount of liable problems as possible. It's not necessarily a cannabis event. It is a family-friendly event. There are children walking around, and there is a green tent. The tent is actually white. It's a white tent, but it's called the green tent. And this green tent it's round. It's like a yurt tent, and you go in there to partake cannabis and meet
So it's the
some
green
great
and white
people in
tent.
there.
I like it.
It's the green white. Yeah, Spartan, you might like that one, right?
Yeah, it's the green and white.
But yeah, it's down on the other side of the main stage hill. We lit a ceremony today. And the ceremony was put on by a wonderful family that practices in southern Michigan in Monroe, and it was a First People ceremony, and it was amazing, and it really set the vibe for the weekend up there. We're technically here for the whole weekend, you know. Fortunately, this is only about 10 minutes from where we are right now. That's why I say, so this is incredibly local to us, and we're very, very thankful to be a part of this.
I think you're right down
where
the road.
Red Setter Farm, the Irish setter comes, into play of the name. We're in Irish Hills, Michigan. So you know, it's super cool. We're trying to bump elbows with some locals. Finally, we want to move out to this region. We actually live about 40 minutes from here, so we have to commute. So we're trying to make this our home base. And goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. So yeah, my signal. I'm on satellite out here, so it's a little difficult to catch a signal. So if I am spotty, I'm on a cell phone and not high speed right now.
It's not bad, man.
Yeah, I actually lived and worked out in Brooklyn for 6-7 years. Great little area. Irish Hills,
right on.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we're in like the Wampler's Lake area, Vineyard Lake area, Evans Lake area. There's Wolf Lake. I could count 52 of them to you guys. They're reasonably large sized lakes. Some of them are man-made. One of the lakes is part of the Raisin River watershed, which flows all the way out to Vineyard Lake, actually, is part of the Raisin River watershed. And actually, 4 major rivers, the Grand River, the Kalamazoo River, all begin here in Irish Hills. We're at 1,000 feet, and they all trickle down from here. It's a great region. Cool. Our topography is hilly, hence the Irish Hills.
You must be
so you get both north and southern facing. Say that again. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say you're probably center of the state. Then if it is it going both ways?
The soil is sedimentary. Yeah, rivers go north. The Raisin River flows a little bit north into Norville Lake, and then out of Vineyard Lake, kind of begins at Vineyard Lake, flows north into Norville Lake, and also flows south into all the way down to Monroe. Then I'm not sure where the Grand River is, a little up north near Jackson, I believe.
I think that goes all the way up.
Grand River goes. Yeah, it does go through Jackson, but it also goes all the way to fucking Lake Michigan.
Which is it goes up, but it's actually going down.
Well,
it goes up but down in elevation.
Which is really strange. You're right. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, we're at the high point down here. We're at 1,000 feet. And then you get high points again back when you get up to northern Michigan.
I'm gonna pull it up because
the soil is glacier sedimentary.
Seriously,
I
don't think
talking about.
No, it's not that I'm familiar with it because I was blown away when I saw it too. But the topographic map for Michigan is more than you would expect if you've been in Michigan, because it seems pretty freaking flat if you come from just about anywhere else.
Yeah, it does.
Not if you come from Ohio. Drive through Ohio, that's a flat.
Well, yeah, I mean, just about anywhere outside of the Midwest, I should say. But yeah, obviously up here is our kind of tallest points in the UP.
Yeah, there we are. Look, you can actually see Irish Hills. Look, there it is. Yep.
What's
Irish Hills right there.
What's the elevation of the blue?
That would be our region.
That's probably the
and it's a glacial. It's a glacial deposit right here. So we get all of this beautiful sedimentary rock down here in this zone. A lot of that glacial recession in the sediment created these lakes and the rivers and all of the watershed that's down here. And the sediments make excellent farming. So you see these high regions. This Irish Hills region is actually Michigan's third best
1,200.
Yeah, I think
grape
you're right.
in vineyard region. Grapes and walnuts grow wild in this region. Hence the Vineyard Lake, coined by the French settlers in the 1700s. The River Raisin, the Raisin les River les Raisins, or whatever they called it, from the 1700s, is settled upon because of all of the grapevines growing naturally in this thick grape and walnut forests were written about. This area was not owned by any first people, any indigenous. Nobody claimed or settled this land until pretty much the British in the 1800s. Even the French, when the French came here, they settled amongst the indigenous, and the indigenous actually used this area for trading. The four corners between US 12 and M50. I'm sorry, the corner of the crossroads of US 12 and M50 was one of the largest trading posts and crossroads in the Midwest prior to French settlement or British settlement or anything like that.
It's actually
really
labeled
really
Irish
cool
Hills.
history here. And in the 1700s, the French settled here amongst the indigenous, and then in the 1800s, of course, the War of 1812 and everything happened. Everything happened with Monroe, and they actually used the River Raisin to transfer goods and things from this area to Monroe, and eventually the Detroit and everything became, I think, British, and then at one point the New York sent a whole bunch of Irish settlers here, and a lot of them left New York and moved here to this. They came to Detroit and then eventually came here and coined the area Irish Hills with all of the Irish settlers that eventually preceded the French. Very cool, interesting, and also natural history that kind of is here. And this area, since the French settled, and has always been agriculture and farming. In fact, they had a plume of agriculture. A sickness broke out in the 1800s because they plowed so much of the land at one time that everybody became ill with. I can't think off the top of my head which bacteria that it was, but the whole region, which was at the time known as Columbia or Napoleon, this whole region kind of got engulfed in this sickness. Very interesting history that goes back farming.
And you know you're going to get a history lesson if you've got Red on the podcast. Red, I appreciate all that, because I really am learning quite a bit right now. But I got to share this map again, because you mentioned a few rivers that come out of the Irish Hills. You can see the Irish Hills labeled here, all the way from down in the center of the state. What is that? Probably Hillsdale County, all the way up to practically the tip of the thumb almost. But it's not just those. I mean, you got the St. Joseph River, you got the Kalamazoo River, you've got the Grand, you got the Shiawassee, the Huron, even the Flint River and the Cass River look like they're coming out of it. And what is that? The St. Clair River or something? I don't know, whatever river that is, probably as well. So it's like every river in the south of Saginaw is coming off the Irish Hills, it looks like. Protect our watersheds. Holy crap.
Yes.
He's on a delay.
That's pretty cool, though.
It's crazy though, because you guys,
I really wish I could hear you. God, it keeps freezing up on my end.
No.
What's crazy is the Grand River. It starts in the southern part of the state and it flows north to fucking Lake Michigan.
Right.
Well, because we're on a globe.
But
because we're on
it's elevation and
exactly.
But I mean, all of those except the Huron River flow north from the Irish Hills at some point. Like St. Joseph wraps around. Kalamazoo is mostly going west.
It just doesn't seem that tall of elevation,
Right.
But it doesn't, because it's not a lot.
The elevation on the left there.
Yeah, but it's so
high. It's only 1,000.
Yeah, we're talking 1,000 feet, and our tallest point in Michigan, up in the UP, Mount whatever it is like 90. It's just shy of 2,000 feet. We're talking 1,000, 1,200 feet around here, but just think about all of the communities that grow through there. Think about Bloomfield Hills, Rochester Hills, Auburn Hills. Those are all very hilly places, so you kind of maybe just don't realize the elevation as you're traveling through them.
Yep.
I didn't even realize I moved.
It's flat as hell here.
So and it goes up pretty heavy too. We live 25 miles from here, and we're only at 700 feet, something like that. So I mean, you don't really feel it. It just gradually slopes up. 300 feet in 30 miles. Was that 100 feet every 10 miles? 10, yeah.
Damn, I'm at 974.
It's not much of an incline.
Now I got to look up.
Right.
Superior
Buds is at sea level plus whatever his house is.
Yeah.
It actually says I'm 623 feet.
Really?
Yeah, you guys are because
I'm on Superior, so it's got to flow down. Oh.
Yeah.
Spartan, you're at 965, according to what I searched.
What I
that's
have
pretty
noticed
good.
with the Irish Hills.
You're muted. You're muted.
Was that Spartan?
I was just gonna say I'm good with that. I like that. I like
That's what that means. 900 feet has to fill of all everywhere else before my house is getting flooded
That's right.
in
So,
an
That's what I'm
apocalypse
saying,
flood
dude.
scenario. Yeah, works straight, dude.
That's why this is a
I
good region
like
to be
this
in.
discussion.
They say at 1,000 feet you're good for the next couple hundred years. If you're at 1,000 feet or
Oh,
higher,
nice.
you're good for some flooding.
King of the castle.
Or the wave won't get you or something like that. Maybe the wave won't get you.
Yeah, exactly. What's that movie I saw right in the 90s where the asteroid hits and it makes a wave?
The big wave, the big ships.
The wave,
Yeah, and everything's and they gotta get out and the kid's on the motorcycle. And yeah, that's that. I'm always like, oh, that'd be terrible.
Well, have you guys with the discussion of the Irish Hills, any of you that have lived around the Irish Hills, maybe Red, have you noticed how that affects the weather? Because I can tell you, I've noticed some crazy things, like and how the weather shifts around them.
Yeah. It's not actually weather. It's they have machines doing that. It happened in Tallahassee.
I thought it was just I-69 deflecting the weather.
We
out
get
it wasn't that,
hurricanes
or
and they
the
would
Irish
just they would go
Hills.
around it.
It was
No.
the systems in the sky.
giant magnet machines. But
Got it.
no, yeah, I noticed that too since I moved here.
just
And
some
I'm
guys
like, man, everybody
turning
complained
knobs.
about this state, but yeah, the guys turning knobs. Let's
We
fuck
haven't
up
had
some
a-
people's
Turn
week.
giant levers.
I will say, Baked, we haven't had a real winter since you've been here. Still.
Yeah, I tell people I brought the sunshine.
I'm okay with it.
brought it with them.
Well, we need our winters back up here because last winter sucked.
Yeah, I heard, yeah. There's
Still in
no
the ski
snowboard
slopes,
skiing.
man.
Yeah.
Not the humidity.
No more snowmobiling for Dankman Dan.
Hey, can I ask y'all how many here have snow tubed?
Snow tube,
Like you go, like you get a tube, whether whether you walk up the hill.
Northern Michigan.
Oh yeah,
but I said it at work, and people were like, "What?" I was like
sledding. It's called sledding.
It's basically sledding. And when I explained it, they said that. I was like, no, but it's not. Like there's places like in North Carolina that are only tube, and they have little like things that you sit on the tube and it takes you up the hill.
That's
okay.
So you're talking about like professional ski hills. Yeah, we do that up in the
for tubes.
Stuff does it. Yeah. You can go sledding down. They still call it sledding, but you're going down it.
The tube's way more fun because you can bounce into
it's probably a liability issue. It'd probably just
probably. I did see. Yeah, now that you mention it, there's some accidents every time I went. But still, that's part of living life.
Yeah, it's part of the fun, you know. You just don't want to be the one.
The one in town that I know of that we used to go to, and as a kid, closed down, I believe, because of liability issues. But it was it's called
humps, so you just gain air.
Yeah, for sure. You'd build your own ramps down there at the bottom, you know, and go take it off. And there was a river down at the bottom. I think people were actually making it down to the river. It was going so far, you know.
Across it.
You need just the right grade for tubes because a little too much, man, and
water, man.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
Yeah, the thing about
but you want to get a little bit of air because you're in a tube. You're in something that has suspension.
It's got you got the bounce to it. At least you're not.
So I want a little bit of fun. Whereas at least you're not. Yeah, you're not on a red wagon or whatever they call them up here. Those old ass rickety wood.
Radio flying.
A toboggan.
Maybe, but you see those movies where those kids are on their chests on those. What are you gonna break your ribs when you go off a 5-foot ramp?
Dude, I know somebody who here in Jackson down the Cascades Hill. They every year. Got on one of those old wooden toboggans, or not toboggans, but what are those fucking
things?
The wooden ones with the metal
sled. Yeah,
the red mat on top and the yellow.
Oh my!
I've got two of them. We still ride those bastards. We pulled one behind the 4-wheel and snapped the string off last year.
Hit a fucking tree.
Oh God.
At the bottom of the hill.
Did the thing shatter?
Ripped her
his
foot
brain?
completely off. It was only hanging by a thread of skin.
Oh my God.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about
I'll get the regulated sled then.
I say talk about ruining sledding for your life.
For
Man.
Yeah.
real, I think
I lost a
watch.
tooth on Cascades Hill when I was a kid.
Oh
Did you?
wow.
Yeah,
We'll find it. We can go find it if you
yeah,
want.
it's probably
We'll go-
still out there.
we'll go
I
look
got
for-
the
was it a
weekend.
It's
gold-
around
Was it
for
a
a
gold
while.
tooth? We'll go look if it was a gold tooth.
You ever see that show? Yeah. Nectar. Sweet nectar.
Oh, there we go, Weezin.
That's a nice hill though. Grease saucer. Grease saucer. Hey.
Get
All
the
right.
feed.
Well, what's better though, sledding or slip and slides down a? I would say the same hill, but if you did a slip and slide down the same hill,
Yeah.
sure
You
die,
better
or
have a
maybe little bit less?
long. Well, you have to have a long flat for that.
Or just a pool at
Unless
the bottom or something.
or a
My
pond.
fear is
Yeah,
there
a
being
pond or a pool.
stick underneath the slip and slide for some reason.
Well, you're supposed to do
Yeah.
scouting
Or a
before
black
laying proper
walnut
slip and slide.
Burns your leg up for 2 weeks.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, for some reason I must have hit a stick as a kid or something like that, but I feel way safer doing the other than the other.
Well, here's the thing: you
Doing the
could
one
just
than the
take
other.
the tube and go down the slip and slide too. So
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
Now
you
that
know,
I could do because
all
I'm
I'm
saying
with
is
red.
if
I don't
There you
want
go.
my luck. I'm
Yeah,
going to take a
we-
stick
We
to
also
the eye
used to
or
like
something.
wax. We used to wax our slides and like put soap on our slip and slides
Yeah,
and shit
baby
like
soap,
that.
that's
and,
what
like,
we
just
do.
launch
Yeah.
it, so.
On dish
Yeah.
soap, man. That stuff slides great.
I'd probably go with a
Dude,
good
wax
solid
paper
slip
on
and
a-
slide
wax
over
paper on
snow
a
tubing.
10-foot slide is serious shit.
wax
Absolutely
paper.
gardening. I was
Wax,
saying
you know,
garden.
I can't believe the slides were so tall. They would have slides like that's all metal steel slide,
Like,
dude, with wax paper
look
on
at-
that fucker. Slide down it twice with a butt full of wax paper. Shoot
Look at
off
that
the
Belle
edge.
Isle
July,
slide.
we went to one of the local parks here,
Lost me at
and
butt.
they
full.
had
Yeah, what is going on? You're putting wax paper on your butt to slide down a slide?
The first time, you only need to do it once or twice. Yeah, you put wax paper.
Oh,
on
and
your
then it
butt, you
waxes
slide down
it
the
up?
Slide once or twice, and it waxes that slide up so hard, dude. I
Oh,
used to take wax paper to school. Oh man, the teachers were not happy about those days when I'd bring wax paper to school. All the kids would be fucked up on the slide, dude. I'd be shooting kids off the end of the slide all fucking afternoon. Dude, I'd go down with. I knew what I was in for, but the other kids behind me, they didn't know what they were in for, dude. They were shooting. Off
Oh,
the
yeah,
slide.
these-
I was going to say that for Girly.
Kind of a menace. Oh, is that the Belleville? Is
Belle
that
Isle
the
slide?
Belle Isle
Oh, yeah.
slide?
Yeah.
The Belle Isle
It's so good.
slide of death, dude.
It's so good.
have you guys ever seen? Yeah, there was like a New Jersey theme park or like amusement park.
Like Boston or something, right? The cops.
Somewhere around there where like it was like the 70s and 80s where it was just wild. It was absolute like they just built their own fucking roller coasters and slides and shit, and people were breaking bones and going 90 miles an hour. And I forget what it was called, but it was interesting. And it took like 20 years for somebody to finally sue them and shut it down. But that's what that
Yeah.
reminds me of.
So wuss.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
just bringing it
playgrounds
up.
used to be fun.
That's hilarious. That makes me laugh every time. Like, homie, he tries to get up. Like, oh my
When Red
god.
said wax paper, that's all I could picture.
You know what makes
is
a good slide?
kids just
In a fast slide? Dude, the last time I got shot out the end of a slide, it was down a plastic culvert. Plastic culverts haul ass. I'm not kidding. Like you gotta get
Yeah.
the big, like, fucking 30-inch
We
plastic culvert.
Yeah, we just
Oh,
saw a video on
dude,
that.
yeah.
They're
Just
smooth on
haul
the
ass
inside.
those things.
Yeah, we just saw a video on that on a
With the,
DIY
the-
make
the-
your
the
own
double
slide.
layered inside, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. They get insulated almost.
It's way better than a fucking metal anything. The metal gets so fucking hot in the summertime.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The funny part about that video for Girly though is the sound.
And all the shit.
You
falling out
can
of
hear him tumble like doo, 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 doo.
You guys have to
he's
look it up.
coming
I'm
down.
not afraid of getting
Wall.
us like striked or something, but yeah.
Yeah. That's one's a good one.
Oh, goodness. All right. So, what is everyone's favorite smoke today? Like, what is everybody smoking on today?
I'm smoking on the Nafish. Nafish. That's what I've been smoking.
Okay.
Papa Select, but I got Bliss Bud flour. Little pile over here.
We gotta get Bliss
Read the
Bud.
bottom of the jar, so I don't know.
I got
Yeah.
GMO like always.
Nice.
I just put some lemon do-si-do
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
from Red Setter in mine.
Clementine Cobra Milk.
Oh, Cobra milk.
Yeah, I think it's.
Ooh, you ever mix those?
That'd be a good mix.
Actually, I haven't. Let's do that right now. You know what? I'm gonna wait 5 minutes to do that.
Didn't you do an orange creamsicle already?
I did, but
Bro, you can be a big boy and take another dab in 5 minutes.
okay,
and do that
okay,
right now.
all right.
Yeah.
I like the way you think sometimes.
With Pedro being gone, someone
I'll
needs
do
to
it.
get really just
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were talking about something else. Yeah.
Oh. Well, you already volunteered, so another
okay,
dab. Let's
it's
go.
me. I guess it's me. All right. While I do this dab, and
Look at
since
him
we
try
have
to
baked on the show, and I know we haven't had everyone on the show yet, but while we got baked here, I'm going to ask you the question: can you define hash for us?
Not really, but
What
I
it-
mean,
what
if
it
you
means
ask,
to
if you
you.
ask me hash, like first time I saw hash was some brown ass, probably from Middle East, finger looking hash. But if you ask me today, I would say if somebody came up and was like, "Hey, you want some hash?" I'm expecting some concentrate of some form, whether that's solventless or not. To me, it's just another form of like dab. Hey, you want some dabs? Because it's gotten so confound,
Right.
this or that. I'm not. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, it's that's kind of the
Yeah.
question though. It's just what is your feeling? What do you feel when you hear the word? And yeah, you
Yeah,
described it
I
perfect.
just go. Yeah, concentrate. I'm just like, all right, somebody's got some sort of concentrate.
It's different for everybody. We talked about it, how like you said, your definition has changed over the years, what you had
Yeah.
thought of. And I think mine hasn't as much. I still think when I hear hash, I still think traditional hash for some reason. That's just where my brain goes.
Yeah.
If someone said you want some hash and pulled out some rosin, I don't know how I'd feel.
Yeah, well, I mean, how often are you using
Well-
the term hash that isn't referred to like a dark brown, like old school technique
Right.
or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
but
You don't hear hash as much these days.
how often are you hearing hash rosin? People use that in reference to rosin
Or bubble
all the
hash,
time.
or-
They
yeah.
throw hash in front of rosin, and I guess in y'all's terms for no reason.
Ooh, nice.
So I've just adapted to that because yeah, that looks delicious.
Show it again. Show me how thick that was.
Yeah,
Show me how
that was
thick
re-
that
yeah,
hash
you could
was.
tell
Rolling
from the
over.
yeah.
So I'd
My
be smoking that.
Atlanta.
I'd be smoking that right now.
See, you
Yeah.
could scrape that together, smush it with your hand, and I would call it hash.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Because that's what originally it was when we were taking knife hits in 2007.
Oh, nice.
But we sold hash so fast, nobody had seen it. We were in high school, nobody had seen it, and we had a pill bottle of it from my buddies. Yeah, that's exactly what. When you brought that out, that's what it reminded me of. I was like, man, that kind of we could do it. You get the cup and you go to the
It's
stove,
definitely what it's
turn
gonna
on
be
the
used
electric
for,
stove,
that's for sure.
heated up the knife, and we did that because his brother was in college, and that's who got us the hash. And then we hit it, and we are like, oh, this is gonna be a hit, and we sold that out in a day, and everybody was like, that shit's amazing. But you had to convince people. You'd be like, this isn't like some other drug. This isn't. And it's not doo-doo or nothing weird. It's just concentrated. At least now shit looks a little better than that, I think, when you're trying to explain dabs to somebody. You can show them something nice
Hey,
like
look at that.
Figoli's or some nice, monocrop hash rosin. What is that? Oh, yeah,
It's
good
magnitude
metal.
to it. Nice
Yeah.
real iron fucking nail, not one of those cheap zinc nails.
That's awesome. I wonder if did you got it from the kid? Did he make it? Like that would be cool if the little kid forged
He
it.
probably did. Yeah, he probably did. That's probably something you would start on. When I went to some
Yeah,
box
that's what I'm
fitting
thinking.
thing,
That'd be
we
cool
did
to start
what do they call it? A railroad nail. We turned that into a knife, and because it's something
Fine.
easy to do. You
Or
got the
with
basic structure there.
Yeah, common material, not used by
So
high-end people.
a little nail like that'd be perfect to teach a child, I think. But
Yeah, they were hosting like forging classes down the road somewhere, some sort of forging class, and so speaking of Trichome Forge, this is a little homage to you there.
hell
Trichome
yeah.
Forge, a forged piece of steel. There, I'll do a dab for you with it.
Oh, hash time.
Oh yeah. So I gotta say that Clementine and Cobra Milk dab, the Cobra Milk didn't overpower the Clementine, but it toned it down so much that it was hard to tell the distinct flavor between either two.
So it mixed well? Is what you would say.
Yeah.
Because you can either have Cobra Milk heavy, or you can have Clementine heavy, or you can have the third option where a new technical flavor. You know what I mean? Because they mix.
Yeah, it's just hard to define what that flavor is, but like
Yeah.
I wasn't like
I like that though.
Clementine dab or anything, you know.
I get kind of disappointed when it's like, well, yeah, I have Cobra Milk, I have Clementine. I don't want something heavy in either of that. I want something like, whoa, what was that? Like, remember Suicide Slushies?
What is that? I recognize that.
That's what we called them, but it's like you would go to the slushy place, or we would do it at the pool place, and we'd be like, give me every flavor when you get like a snow cone or slushy, and they go and squirt every flavor.
7-Eleven for us.
Yeah.
I guess you guys have that too.
Yeah, they were down there, but like, yeah, I just remember because of the pool, and they would do it, and you'd be like, come on, please. And sometimes there'd be somebody that'd be like, no, only one flavor.
I always went for Red Dye 40.
Now it's like, oh, it's all, some gross dyes. Yeah, do a dab for Pedro.
Send it to clouds, brother.
Ooh, that one's hot.
No clouds for you, Pedro. Hope you're healing, brother.
Well, I got the dab sweats on that Cobra Milk one though. I can feel the sun.
I'm gonna let mine cool a little more. That last one
Yep.
was a little freaking warm.
So what
I'm
tells
gonna
you it's
read
too
one
warm?
of the.
Go ahead,
I'm
Red.
just gonna list off a little bit of this itinerary that's going on tomorrow. There's a herbal hydrolysis class, divine distillation. So that's cool if you're into hydrosols, which is basically making aromas, fragrances, frugally terpenes, extracting them using basically steam distillation from botanicals. I would highly suggest somebody attempting that with cannabis at some time. I'd imagine that could be a whole wave of different products. You know, you're talking hydrosols. I'm sure that they exist. I certainly haven't seen them in a dispensary. What are those things called? More like something you'd probably find in a apothecary, which is kind of where I'd like to see a little bit more movement towards. Anyways, there's earth art. There's traditional archery and bow hunting. Very interesting there.
Nice.
Some fun there. Mushrooms, mindfulness, and microdosing. Hey,
Okay.
There's one I can get behind right there. I'm gonna have to check that one out. That's from 7 to 8 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah, dude. There's all kinds of stuff. There's the key of different, let's say, themed events. You have make and take, which I'm guessing is like how to make things, hence like the herbal hydrolysis. There's yoga and movement type courses. So there's Kundalini, yoga, There's Sup Lake Yoga, which I'm guessing is yoga on the water or something like that. Possibly, I could be totally wrong also, but we're surrounded by water. There's talks and talk is a funny word. How do you pronounce that? Talks and discussion. Rewilding, which get in touch and in tune with nature. So there's clear stargazing that goes on with that one. Of course, Chris Trump, part of the agricultural renaissance and natural farming, that's part of rewilding. And then there's, of course, music. There's about 3 or 4 different stages in a main stage. Music going on. There's local bands. One of my buddies, somebody who actually I consult on a very regular basis, is in one of the bands. That's how, like, you know, small world this gathering is. It's very cool. And I mean, he lives over by me. You know, we live an hour from here. So it's very cool to see all of these worlds converging. There's also a healing tent. So Becca got herself signed up for a massage, and these massages are all free. So there's a massage going on tomorrow for her, and everybody else who's going on. They have a sauna or a spa trailer. Super cool. There's a coffee truck with, you know, it's a self-serve coffee truck, basically a cold brew with a couple different teas, herbal teas, lemonade, things like that. It's an honor system. Put the money in a cup, pour yourself a cold brew. There's a couple really cool food trucks. One of them is like this really old, like looks like a 1950s like Ghostbusters mobile, but it's a food truck and it's like super tall, like a bus. Another one's like a tiki shack, and then of course all of the handmade art. So come on out to Divine Pine Gathering. Just another little public service announcement for what's going on out here.
Do you know what the cost of like a daily entry is out there?
Yes, the daily cost is $50 or $55. The weekend cost is $100 for all 3 days. Obviously, day 1 is now behind us, so there's 2 days left. But if you came out for a day, it would be $50. I'm not sure about a age, like under a certain age might get in for free or at a much lower rate, or I'm sure probably for free based on age. But definitely check out the Instagram there. I might even be on this flyer that I'm looking at, but I'm not sure.
I was gonna say I could probably pull it up if I was a good producer over here.
So on the flyer, what it's called on the flyer: traditional skills, live music, art, nature, and community. So, you know, as far as the demographic that it's trying to cater towards, that would be it. Yeah, it's a very cool thing especially for the region here, like I said. And of course, you know, if you're into natural farming, which I know a lot of people in cannabis are, trying to do things without chemicals, and, you know, working with pest prevention, and you know, just trying to like not use, let's say, chemical fertilizers, for example. You know, check out Korean natural farming or any of the no-till techniques, and a lot of stuff is discussed at events like this, you know, that are both kid and canna friendly. You know what I mean? They can have both worlds meet and blend, and a lot of it is just within a very welcoming community. Yeah, so that's what I would say about that.
Yeah.
So thanks for letting me promote the event, because it happens biannually, so it'll happen again in 2 years.
Chris Trump has a really good interview on podcast too. I listened to it about like years ago, and that's how I learned about him and the KNF and all that. And that's, yeah, I think that's neat that he's right there in Brooklyn. But I have to check.
I think
that out.
I have it here.
Yeah, it's a super small world, man.
He's coming to Grow Green.
We're blessed to have him locally here.
Yeah, see, I never knew that either. I missed that completely. I might have checked that out. Oh, nice.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for pulling that itinerary up.
Well, that's all Superior, but I'll take the credit.
Yeah. Yeah.
My Google is faster.
I was trying to pull up the Instagram, and there's just, I don't know, I'm not seeing the information, a lot of pictures and stuff. Maybe I'm on the wrong one. Yeah, the itinerary is pretty deep. I mean,
it's pretty stacked.
Yeah.
There's a lot of events going on. I love the color coding.
There it is.
You can follow a track if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, so the color coding is the key that I just told you. Each one of those colors is a different one of those, let's say,
Fun, right?
themes. And
They can
then,
take yoga
yeah,
and
I mean,
movement,
they're stacked all day
talking,
long.
such rewilding. Looks like music and healing time.
So I would say that I would call it like a music festival, but it's much more like a healing festival. They really focus mind and body work in this. And of course, bringing in the nature, the ceremony, it's definitely a leave no trace event. Like I said, alcohol free is what they're promoting. So, yeah, I'm sure a little bit of that
Family friendly.
has
That's
to
awesome.
do with the liability and legal ways of getting around some insurance or some stuff like that. I don't know, but the other part of it, honestly, we all know what happens when there's a lot of people and there's alcohol involved. Ironically, like I said, directly across the street is where NASCAR, Michigan International Speedway, and the
probably like
faster
one of the
horses
biggest
and
distributors in the state.
That's some of the the
I've
most
seen
issues.
some interesting stuff at
in the
MIS.
city happen there.
I know they do
Wild place there.
cross country races there. That's all I think I've seen.
When I worked
No.
They
for
have very pretty
a
lights in the
sticker
wintertime.
company, I went to many NASCAR events. So part of work.
Part of one of those business trips.
Yeah.
Did you go down to like Daytona or anything for it? Or?
They were using,
No,
they were
not-
using
my team
MIS
did
for
not.
a Ford.
Okay.
I think it was either a Bronco or a Ranger storage lot over the winter. They had about, I don't know how many thousand. I think it was Broncos parked out at MIS. They're just parking those suckers everywhere, man. Every time they have a shortage on parts, they're loading them up in every lot they can find.
So every year, I don't know if they still do it, but back when I was into my tuners, once a year they did a charity event at MIS, and you could pay $20 and take a lap on the track in your car.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
So,
That's cheap.
oh yeah, and it's charity, so you donate, and then you take another lap, and you do another 20, and you take another lap, and you run out of money. And oh man, I at the time I had an extremely fast car with great suspension, and it was so much fun.
What'd you top it out at?
Oh, not much. I mean, it was one something, I won't, insurance purposes and stuff. I still own the car, so
Was it over 7 years ago or something?
there's statute of limitations on
On
speeding.
speeding? Yeah, probably
I
like
don't know what it would be.
20 seconds. I don't know. Like you gotta prove it, I guess, right? I don't know. You gotta prove it. I don't know.
But you're speeding in a place that's a privately owned property,
Right.
not on a public.
I just don't know that insurance would
Be very
like
happy
the
about
fact
it.
that I mean, you've seen the corners. I mean, those banks are no flipping joke, and you get going fast enough,
It's
and those
real
banks
banks.
turn for you.
Real banks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
it's a real racetrack. Lots of fun.
I've seen indoor, speaking of racetracks, I've seen indoor like track and field tracks that were banked. Think about running on a banked like indoor 200-meter track. That'd be so crazy.
I just remember the original high tide cups in Michigan. Remember them at the Speedway, Ohio Speedway, and it's like walking around all day on those fucking sideways almost. It's like you can feel it in one calf.
Yeah. Slightly angled.
For us, we were dying
What is
because
the
the sun was baking us.
What's the seating capacity of MIS for Gurley? I don't have any way of searching anything without logging out of here. But what's the people capacity? Because they have campgrounds and all kinds of shit, dude. What's the capacity?
56 to 137,000.
Say it again.
I got 119,500.
It says 56,000 to 137,000, depending on the configuration of the stands.
Okay.
Yeah,
Holy shit! That's a
it was,
wide range.
a lot of people.
It decreased over time because they removed the bleachers. So when they had the bleachers back in the 90s and 2000s, it could sit over 150,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say they increased it up until that point, until the 90s.
Mm-hmm. And it would be full back then.
That's
I mean,
when shit was wild, and they had
that was
they had to
peak
cool it
NASCAR.
down.
Yeah, exactly. They started putting
That was
restrictor
peak
plates in
NASCAR.
to
That's
bring
right.
the cars slower because they were, and Michigan was such a small track and was fast.
They had to limit the amount of people in there because shit was getting rowdy.
It was.
So this isn't going to be the
glory
like,
days of NASCAR, the
perspective.
rowdy days.
But this is the speedway we're talking about, and that's a look up the embankment where the high time sign is. You're looking up the embankment. It's hard to tell because this is like a fisheye camera and whatnot, but I don't know if we'll be able to really see any like yeah, I don't know. You have to see it for yourself, I guess. But
Yeah, for me, I couldn't find any place to sit at that event. And I was
No.
in the sun and I was pissed off, stoned. So I walked up that fucking embankment and sat on the ledge. That was a great idea until I needed to get down. And now I'm all high and I jumped down onto that freaking steep ass track. I almost went face first.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean, those events were pretty dang hot. They were always in July or September, August, something like that. And I got to shout out Michigan Made Melts, because Michigan Made Melts, my first time ever going to High Times Cannabis Cup, he was vending and he kind of like took me under his wing. He was like, hey, like throw your shit in our booth, like get some shade, you know what I mean? Like you could like, kind of like make this tent your home, you know what I mean? And ever since then, it's like, having been on without a tent or an umbrella or anything, you know what I mean? I get it. It sucks. So it's like sometimes you just gotta like throw up that shade.
The first Clio event that I went to, we had went out, the wife and I had went out the night before and drank, and we were really drunk and decided to go in the middle of the night. And then we had to wake up and drive, 5.5 hours from here to get there. And then went to the event all day and then had to drive 5.5 hours back.
Oh.
And I had a hangover from hell that whole day.
It's not
That tree. What was that? Was that Dale Earnhardt?
Yeah, it was a ticket of MIS ticket 1996, August 18th.
Oh, that's
ticket
neat.
That I went to race. Dale Jarrett won that race. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Oh,
I come from Earnhardt family. We're Earnhardt family fans.
Oh yeah, dude.
The original. We didn't care
the
about
fact that your family has a NASCAR like fan.
We had in the 90s. You had everything. We were from Florida and we were like the Braves for some reason for baseball. I never knew that why. And then but I remember we were definitely Earnhardt fans, and then he died, and that was
my
a big,
father.
huge thing.
My father used to have a NASCAR store in the mall here in town. He had so many NASCAR collectibles that my father had. So I still have quite a bit of NASCAR stuff here myself, and
I bet.
things
that's cool.
Because that's pretty neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never been to a NASCAR race. I've been to a. All right.
Go ahead. Sorry, Red.
Any of you guys ever seen a Top Fuel dragster race?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So loud.
Like
I could probably pull a ticket from that too.
I love it. And shit like that, dude. The wheelie bus.
Yeah.
You ever see the wheelie bus take off, dude? That's a fucking stunt show right there. Dude, Top Fuel dragsters, they will take your breath away, man. They're no joke.
Oh yeah.
I sat there and barely had little fucking shitty shooting earplugs in, and that fucker, it literally sucks the air out of your lungs, man. It's fucking insane. There's so much combustion happening fucking 40 feet from you, and then those things just fucking take off 200-300 miles an hour and they're fucking gone. It's fucking like the shortest like little blast of fucking spectacle, like fucking 8 seconds of, oh yay, there it goes, and then it's like 20 minutes in between to the next car, and then another fucking loud roar of a fucking dragon. Pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
It smells like burnt rubber for about 4 hours. Yeah, there you go, dude.
that alcohol fuel, it just hangs in the air.
Yeah, I've got to rub elbows with people like John Force and things like that in my time. Also, it's pretty neat to see some of those people.
I don't know who that is, but nice.
It's just like a little plume, of like global warming right above those areas right there. Just
Yeah, the AQI
You
is
know.
about a fucking 128 for those 24 hours.
Yeah,
Actually, that's
you
probably
can
way higher.
smell them that they've been in the area. That's so much fun for a quick.
They
few
are.
seconds.
They're the opposite of the eco-friendly. So, which is it's like if you look at a yin yang symbol, that is where we're at, dude. Hanging out right now. We have the Divine Pine Gathering on one side of US 12, and on the other side of US 12, you have fucking MIS, the plume of global warming. And dude, it's what. So thankfully, Divine Pine Gathering acts as a biofilter, right? We all have biological filters, so that's one of it's helping out, I guess.
It's all a balance,
Yin and yang. Like
in the end, hopefully.
it's the law of polarity. It's the law of polarity
There
of
you
how
go.
everything's are okay.
Have you seen how they were able to finally image a entwined photon, and it looks exactly like a yin yang symbol?
Oh yeah.
You seen that?
Nice.
That's fucking
I
awesome.
believe
That's
that,
cool.
man.
And then when you look up what an
Yeah.
entangled photon is, and your mind doesn't warp, try to fucking figure that out. It's like, what the fuck are we talking
Wait, is
about?
it
And if you understand
entwined
the
or
yin yang
entangled?
symbol,
It's quantum.
if you understand what the yin yang symbol, it means balance. And it means polar opposites, you know?
Yeah, they'll be polar opposites of each other,
it's-
no matter where they exist in the universe.
Yep.
These two photons.
Yep.
It's fucking insane, no matter the distance.
They exist. They
And if
exist
one changes,
because of each other. You can't have one
Yeah,
without the
there you
other.
go.
You can't have hot without cold.
It's nuts.
You know.
And it's like it could be separated by
You know,
fucking
when
light
does
years
hot
away.
become cold and when does cold become hot?
And if one becomes hot, yeah, then the other one changes back to the opposite.
Yeah.
Even
And
if
if you think
When
about
does
it,
hard become soft and soft become hard?
What are we talking about, Red?
What the
Hold on.
I don't know. I went off.
This is-
You're a family-friendly event, Red.
Well, I almost used the word rigid. I almost used the word rigid.
Oh
and I
my
stopped
God.
myself.
Oh,
So let's just.
And then you use it.
We
See,
can
we're
take
past,
it back.
we're past midnight.
We're
This
not.
is what we.
We're not recording or live.
Red, go back to your festival.
We can take it back.
No. Sorry. But the interesting thing
you're
about
in
this,
the show.
guys,
Everybody can see this.
to me, we're broadcasting to 7 different channels. It would be 8, but I'm not premium on X, or so well, maybe we'll get back to that eventually. But the interesting thing about the yin yang photons is it's a 2D image, right? It's not even 3D. It's not 40. It's not 5D, or however many Ds we can get out of it. So
are we still talking about?
No, Spartan, stop it. Living up to the Spartan name, I tell you.
What do you mean it's 2D?
Well, it's just a 2D image, right? It's just a flat image, and we're just capturing, one perspective of it. It's not 3D.
Oh yeah, just like looking at a black hole.
Or just a piece of paper.
well, it's like our solar system. It's on a flat plane too,
Oh, stop.
Well, the curious thing about this is that.
Are you talking about the Earth?
The curious thing about this is the ancient Eastern people that fucking made the yin yang symbol was a 2D symbol, and it represents the same thing as it could possibly, they're saying, represent like the knowledge of this entangled
yeah, but what Fergal is saying is it's a 2D symbol, but if it's a circle, that means it's probably a sphere. So those 2 dots are going to be in the middle of the ball. You know what I mean? It's not, and if we go to this side of it, it's not going to look the same as we know what a yin. So what does it look like from the side?
Yeah, I mean, is there depth to it? Is it moving? Is it making noise? Is it,
well, now you start getting into like, yeah.
Yeah, just different dimensionals. More, just
Fergali,
more than
pull up the
2D.
tet-
Is
pull
all
up
I'm
the
saying.
So
tet-
the ancient people were trying to make a 2D representation of it, and they make one.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm just gonna say they might have seen in their mind the 3D already.
They might have
They
just had
could only draw the 2D.
right
What is it, Red? The Tetra what?
tetrahedron. I think he said.
tetrahedron.
Hedron.
I swear, if we're about to go
Tetrahedron.
into Terrence Howard stuff,
Oh, let's not do
I'm
that.
out.
Oh,
I'm
stay away
out.
from that.
Please, let's not do that.
Oh yeah, sacred shapes or whatever.
Geometry, man.
There you go.
No, there's
It is both
see
inward.
the one
as
to
it
the
is
right, the
outward,
one
it
to
is
the
both
right where he
convex
has
and
all the
concave.
dice, but that's not actually all the dice. It's
Ooh, look at that D20. That's fucking nice.
yeah, but they're called something in geometry. They're the
It's pentahedra and tetrahedron. Penta obviously means 5. Quad is 4. Tri is 3. Truncated, is that means like a reduced, right?
Those are some terrible dice.
Those aren't gonna roll at all. They're gonna land on the same thing every time.
Now that shape, go to the pyramid, the pyramid with the arches, right? When you elaborate on that, you get the flower, the seed, and the fruit of life. All of which are in a frequency to create these solid structures that we know as matter, all resonating from light in refraction. So you get solid state surface structure through light and vibration through the tetrahedron.
I'm actually really I'm happy you brought that up about light and refraction, because I taught my 3-year-old that this morning. There was light shining through one of the windows, and it was, an angled glass piece, and it was making this little bit of rainbow on the ground. And she's like, Dada, rainbow, and I'm like, oh, that's light refraction. You see the glass. I just, started explaining it to her like she was in high school or something. But it's serendipity again, I guess, or serendipitous. But it's a cool thing, and we learn about that pretty young, and it's like you kind of lose the realization that that's like kind of everywhere around us. It's more than just light refracting through glass, and making a pretty rainbow on our carpet. So is this tetrahedron, hydron, whatever, going to take us? Where's it taking us? Past Chat GPT or something? What are we talking about?
Are you asking Red? That could be.
Anybody?
Tetrahedron is one of the 5 platonic solids. There's only 5 platonic solids. That's one of them, and they're like shapes in the world, I believe. So that, like fractals and all that.
Mm-hmm. Fractals is a big part of it for
sure. You can make all that. The 5 platonic solids and tetrahedron. Yeah, you can do a lot with these. There's like shape website. They call them geometry art, and they'll sell you these little fidget almost toys that you can take one, like certain of those shapes they mess around. So like there's a ball, it's blue. You throw it in the air with a little bit of twist on it, and when you catch it, it's red, because it like has gears in it that we haven't really fucked with as humans yet. That these people are, and just switches.
What are you talking about? Gears that we haven't fucked with as humans yet, and yet there's a product out there with that in it.
That's the first for a guy. He made it in like 2009. Okay. It's like 10 years old. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We just started messing with like the idea of like, hey, we don't have to have gears just this way or just that way.
Okay.
And I don't know exactly how it's made, but it's a little mechanical. You can tell you can see it. I gotta find the name of it.
Ain't it some shit like that? How we ended up with Hellraiser, like, Pinhead, and
I don't know. I didn't see those scary movies. Pinhead, that was a scary looking dude.
It was a damn shape box that changed like you just described.
Oh, well maybe. Well,
only in the movie it opened a portal to hell.
Yeah, so, it was just a movie.
So is it a matter of like, reducing energy inputs through these gears that we're using to like make them more efficient? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's stuff like it's ideas like that that leads to
Okay.
that. Yeah, it's like
physics and engineering and all the smart people
yep,
stuff.
it's just thinking outside the box that everybody's been going for a couple hundred years.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure regulations and things like that, right?
Is
Like
that yeah? There's definitely
patents,
stuff like that.
IP, all that
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Hear about the
Yep.
ex-NASA engineer that just got his propellantless fucking engine to propel enough to go more than gravity.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna Google it.
I was
Okay,
reading.
so clearly we've had that for a while because those UFOs are working on that technology. Like,
Well, that's because reverse engineering there. So I don't think
exactly.
But, so I thought that sounded cool.
I mean, that's the only way that
from
you
our
can move like
future-
that.
That's how they're proposing. NASA's proposing to get to Mars. is through some
Propellant
propellant.
propulsion drive
Yeah.
appears to.
You have to defeat
fly.
gravity.
The one,
This is a .org too. This
did
is
you hear the
crazy.
one about the guy that I think Bob Lazar discredits this guy, so there's not much you could hear. Although unless you're discrediting Bob Lazar, but Bob Lazar supposedly worked with this guy in the Area 51, and there were a couple of different beings that they worked on. One of them being something in 45, and the other one in 52, and both being our humans from the future coming back. One of them ensuring
Go to
that
the
the
next
calamity of 2012, the basically the end of the world that all of the civilizations predict, or the Mayans predicted, and a couple other psychics predicted.
Yeah.
Did
Look
come
at this
true
thing.
and force humans underground. Yeah, you're talking about the CERN reactor?
No, this is what Russ was or Spar was talking about.
Oh, okay.
In 2020, they made something that it's apparent. I mean, this is the debrief.org. It's pretty reputable, I'm pretty sure, but that's pretty crazy. Cool.
Look at
I
you
want to do like
surprised
space
that-
stuff.
We thought I was just making something up. What do you mean you're surprised? You should be like, oh, Spartan said
No, I fact check everything. I gotta make sure it wasn't some clickbait. One time you told me, you go, oh, some robots killed 28 scientists in Japan. I go,
Hold on, wait, there's
do,
more
do, do,
slides.
do.
This
Fact,
is
everywhere's like,
Fact
that's
check
fake.
The gray aliens are future humans. Grays are future like mole people, like from underground.
Well, oh my god.
From a timeline that we jumped. We jumped to a timeline that skipped whatever happened in 2012.
And
that
now
is not the
everybody's
Grays
getting a
timeline.
taste of Michigan Bros Grow Show, the late sesh.
the late sesh. Well,
Yes, yes. This is
what
some
happens.
some
This is what
yeah.
happens to me.
Do we have an intro
post-midnight
for this one
here.
too?
Yeah, the late sesh, the late sesh.
The late sesh. The late sesh.
What do you got? Anything new coming there for girly flavors I can try?
Just
It's squirt,
raspberry
squirt
parfait.
and raspberry parfait. I haven't tried raspberry parfait.
Oh,
I gotta
you
try
got it,
that.
man. It's definitely got very chatty effects, man. It'll keep
Was
you.
it what you
so-
wanted? Like something
Uh,
unique? Because you looked for
yes.
the unique term. Okay.
It very much smelled like lime skunk while it was live. Like I brush up against it and I'm like, dang, dude, it's got that like kind of funky BO smell to it, whatever, but then that was completely lost through the process, the fresh frozen harvesting and processing of it. And it had this very like smooth, almost pale raspberry flavor that just had a hint of tart to it. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
and it wasn't like grapefruit
Interesting.
sour or anything. It was just like, oh yeah, that's kind of like a raspberry, like ice cream or something. I guess,
Yeah.
a light yogurt, maybe not like a heavy duty yogurt, but the effects, man, like that was above and beyond what I was expecting out of it. So I'm very happy with that. Just got to whittle down
Cool.
the 2 or 3 phenols I have left. Same with Squirt. I think it's like 2 or 3 phenols there too. Yeah, Squirt was amazing on the effects, pretty much what I was expecting on the terps. So again, just kind of dial it in. But I've got quite a few seeds right now, many of which were gifted to me by the likes of Spartan Grown here himself. I got a couple vials from him, and just a bunch that I've kind of been gifted and collected over the years. I don't know what I'm gonna pop next. I haven't even really thought about that yet, but we're only a couple months out, I guess, from really having that discussion seriously, in my own head and maybe with you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm kind of like a one pheno hunt a year, and while I technically did start these last year, it's it was kind of like the 2024 pheno hunt, and knowing that I wouldn't harvest them until this year and all that. So, and quite frankly, I still think I've only harvested the first batch of both of them. So, we're 8 months in and don't have a second crop yet. So that's a pheno
It
hunt.
takes a while. Yeah. Well, sweet.
So I'm excited to get that second room finished at the Trichome Forge, because then the phenos we have selected, we can just throw, we know they're solid, and we can throw them in there.
Well, we know they're solid in terms of smells and stuff we want in highs. We don't know numbers yet in terms of,
True. But I mean,
solventless, which isn't a huge deal to us, but it's just nice to know that shit.
Yeah, something gives you like a 1%, though. It's like, all right, maybe we're gonna rethink that. Like,
exactly. That's
really,
what I'm
really
saying.
good.
Like,
for me, it's not a worry, because I'm really of the belief that if it doesn't wash, then you can process it with BHO and get that yield that way.
That's definitely possible.
So it's like I'm not really too worried. It's like that we have both options.
Well, and you can always smoke it as flour, right? Like
that too, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to trim it.
Welcome to the light side.
Yeah, we can take
the whole reason I started washing my harvest is because I hated trimming and hated burping fucking jars.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So much easier to bag it and tag it.
We'll take tops
Speaking
sometimes.
of burping jars.
Try. But tops are nothing to trim. They usually trim pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
I haven't burped a jar in a long time.
Yeah.
And some Cobra milk flour.
Nice.
That still stinks.
I still have a home grow where I trim all my stuff up, but I don't want to trim up more than that. I don't even want to trim that all the time.
I've been programming too long. My hands just can't take the scissors anymore. That just hurts. It's enough just to get the sugar or the fan leaves off, and
yeah, you can do that with just a pair of gloves on and just bam, rip them off. You don't even need scissors.
As long as you can get it to pop nice off the stem, just
If you can't get it to pop, then you eliminate that fucking strain.
Exactly, like we were talking about earlier. Sometimes it's independent, and I think a big part of that is like, I mean, if you're doing fresh frozen, that's one thing, because when those fan leaves just pop off just so perfectly when it's alive, like when it's still standing, oh, it's so nice.
How much water it has matters. I've noticed at work.
That's where I'm in charge of that. Yeah, I think
if
that's
it's too dry, they fucking string off, and it's such a pain for them to pluck it out of there. They just moan and complain all day. They literally they know the answer. They know it happened. So all the first couple racks starts having, and I go, yep, the plants are dry. I mean, this hasn't happened in a while, but then the rest of the day they're just like, oh man, this is stringy. And, they just make comments so that you're like, yep, it's not gonna get any better. We're gonna just have to finish the whole table.
Hold on while we
this wouldn't take so long if it wasn't so stringy. If the plants didn't get dry, whose room was this to water?
Yeah, but I remember it was like we took a risk and we're like, nah, let's not water it. Take the sprayers out, and it was a mistake. But it happens.
Yeah, just never remove those things until the plants are gone. You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter what you do with them because say you do water and make sure that throughout the day it's easy pluckers. Well, now they're going to complain about how heavy the pots were when we take them out. Because we do like a factory pass line.
Right.
You know what you say then?
Oh, these are heavy. And it's like, yep.
You know what you say then?
I don't say anything. I just don't worry about it.
This is what you tell them though. I'm helping you out, man. You say, you know what? The two old guys that used to work here never complained at all about the way of the pots.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna help his situation.
Yeah, because they complain when y'all were here too.
No.
Yeah.
I laughed at them and made fun of them when they were doing that.
Exactly. That's what I do. I go, okay, here's pots. We gotta do it.
Hey, how's that outdoor looking, Spartan? You doing any outdoor this year or what?
Outdoor what?
That
Outdoor
one
acreage
plant?
squash are doing fucking amazing.
Don't just no one plant trying to keep it under the fence or anything like that?
No, I didn't put one out there this year. I'm like, why?
Funsies.
Just asking.
No.
I got like a vegetable garden, but most of it got eaten by rabbits.
Oh no.
But
What have you begun?
half of it's just native wildflowers, and
They look
those took off. So now my yard looks cool.
And your
But,
potatoes.
Oh, and my potatoes and my tomatoes they didn't touch, so I still got those. But they got my
We're in the process
strawberries.
of building a really big meadow with all wildflowers right now, native wildflowers.
Yeah, dude, it's nice. It's like I
Yeah.
got all these pollinators going around. I got orange and pink and blues.
Nice.
And
Yep.
then next year, hopefully, it just seeds out my yard because I'm tired of mowing. I'm just gonna have a native yard. And
Awesome.
Yep.
That's what we're doing too.
Yeah, we were talking about it before the show. Tell them why, though. You know, we kind of talked about like crops, like our farming crops, right? Like most of those are such shallow plants. They're not really doing much for the soil or anything. They're really just sucking the life out of the top of it, depending, you know, certainly if you're not doing some sort of regenerative farming or something. But, you know, in terms of getting roots, those native plants are good, right? Well, why do you need such deep roots? What does that do for you?
Yeah, I'm up on a big bluff that's all sand, and they just had to cut down to do my seawall. So they cut down to the bluff, built a whole riprap, solid giant pieces of rock, to block all the erosion, and now we're replanting all of that. So we're using everything that you can imagine that's built for Lake Superior, like all the native plants. I don't remember what my order was. It was 60 plants almost. And then we sprouted a couple hundred seeds in the veg tent. And then
nice.
I'm sorry.
I just said, oh, nice. I didn't even realize you did that.
Yeah, we use the veg tent to plant all kinds of stuff. So we're creeping phlox and all kinds of creeping plants, things that will hold soil together and allow the next phase of plants to grow. So, you know, some of this has to be done in phases, some of it, but I mean, it's taking off, like sedge grass and other native grasses that we have that'll do 2 and 3 foot deep roots and really stabilize our bluff. We have some areas that were, I mean, if we didn't do anything, we were just going to lose feet of it. So lots of very specific selected plants. Worked with the MSU extension office. You know, those guys are awesome. And they have a whole plan for how to stabilize on Lake Superior. And they gave me a choice. Like, here's 200 plants you can choose from. Like, they'll grow there. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And then it was just a matter of finding the plants.
Yeah.
Sourcing them, right?
Yeah, but I found a great source online. And I mean, I have never had plants come, like this many plants in a single box, and not a single plant looked damaged. They were the coolest little package. The way they were stacked in like grid boxes, and you could open them up and the box would come right out, and then every piece of it was compostable.
Nice.
So it went, you know, right into the compost.
Who are they?
I had it open still here. Great garden plants.
Great garden plants. Nice.
Yeah, it's, let me see if I can.
That's interesting. That'd be fucking awesome. Have a good source like that for a hard.
Yeah.
They have an incredible selection. Where's this at? So here was one of our orders. Whoops. A lot of creeping products, so things that'll stay low. I was telling Groli before, I got this for the wife, and it's got 20 roses on it today, and it was just transplanted less than a week ago. But lots of little creeping ones that hold things together. And then the dogwoods have deep roots in our shoreline protection.
So those you often think trees got big, deep roots, right? But they don't really hold together a bank like some, deep
Not like grasses
and stuff. Yeah.
They have big fat roots
Mm-hmm.
versus grasses are the web, and especially grasses like a beach grass that sends out the rhizomes underground and then sprouts up another plant and then it spreads another. So they are all one plant and they're holding it together like a web under the sand.
And it almost seems to me like planting a tree would be a good idea after that's all been stabilized. But then you think about this tree shading out and killing all this grasses and it turning back to dirt or whatever, and that getting washed away all over again. It's like you almost just want to stick with the native grasses.
We do have a cottonwood tree going down at the shoreline that we're going to put in.
Okay.
Those roots are better for stabilizing. I don't know what it is about it, but they're one that is, and they're shoreline level trees. So they can be beat on by Lake Superior. Because, you got to understand, we're in the winter, I'm going to have a 3-foot sheet of ice come slamming into all of this. And it's going to
freaking glacier every year, bro.
Grind and just, it makes the craziest sounds.
Goes back to our topographic maps.
Put up a visual aid of how deep the roots of grasses can get, because I don't think some people understand how actually deep grass roots especially in the greatest pictures are from Dr. Elaine Ingham, where they show grass that would be in a conventionally like a tilled system, something that's deeply compacted, soil that's void of life, and how short those roots can get, and how deep a grass can get comparatively in a like a nice thick system with lots of organic or carbon material in there. You're talking 20 feet down. They can 20 feet, 15, 20 feet easy to the depths of the water table. And
they go searching for
nutrients and all kinds of stuff.
Here's one.
They search, and they just keep going. If the ground is capable of allowing them to creep downward, they will. Yeah, look at that. There's a good one. That'd be the depth. Yeah, compared
that's native grasses
those are actual roots. Yep.
It's incredible when you see how much they actually hold stuff together. And in our area, we get 60-mile-an-hour winds at times. So some of our trees, I live literally in the forest. I watch trees blow over with their entire roots coming up out of the ground all the time because we're sand. There's no rocks. There's nothing holding them down. If they're 100-foot tall tree, they're coming down in the wind. So doing this will help the trees too. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
We're taking out some more annoying trees, but
how
leaving
far
all
away
reference.
How far away is this erosion from your house?
My back. Well, here, let's see.
Too close.
Yeah,
and not far enough. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
How much space? It's like how quickly you gotta get these plants out there.
Oh, they're already going. I've got the really badder pieces already like patched in with deep rooted grasses started. Nice. So they're already coming through the straw, which is nice. So we're making progress, but we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, but, nothing other than like a cement wall is going to be instant, and they ain't going to let you do that.
Are they all perennial?
So that is, yes, they are. Everything's a perennial.
Nice.
And a lot of them are spread.
Close, yeah.
So my backyard is only 30 foot deep, and then it's a bluff straight down about 40, 50 foot to the water.
Yeah.
So what did your backyard consist of? Did the people before you put in like a Kentucky bluegrass yard, or is it like natural?
It's all native moss.
Forest?
It's
native
like
moss and forest.
Yeah, it's like a really thick, hard, like nothing will grow in it type of moss. Because it's moss that doesn't get water very much, but it also has to survive crazy winters and brutal.
Yeah.
But now we've been taking over. Most of our backyard is blueberry bushes now. So we're all wild blueberries all the
Nice.
way through.
Cool.
And then we've got a couple of very strategic dogwoods planted, which will drive roots super deep, 5 foot around of roots down. Plus they give color for the.
Are you just on a sand dune? Are you on a straight
Basically.
sand dune?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Up in front where we have the chickens, we've created 1.5 feet, 2 foot of soil over the past 5 years, 6 years.
Nice.
So we've,
Nice.
you know, we implement all permaculture on the outside. So it's all from the land and we regenerate everything ourselves. We pull from the forest. With the meadow that I'm planting right now, because it's so risky, I had to go.
A gut feeling that a sand bed, after many, many years of adding carbon to the sand and adding like that old, dead, rotten, whatever you have going on, just makes the best, let's say, kind of permaculture substrate.
Yeah.
Because all of your root crops can grow so well in that type of substrate. You know what I mean? You get just so. Yeah, I love the sand.
You could just stick a finger and you just go right down through it. You know,
that's what I mean. Yeah, I mean you can plant easily once you get the humic layer going. Whatever natural carbon material you need down in that mineral bed gives it just such a nice pithiness. Like here, I love walking. That's why I love walking on the forest floor. It's almost like it's boggy in a sense. You're not on a bog. You know what I mean? You're not on a bog. You're on a forest floor, but it's cushiony and it has that rebound to it. That
it's
of life. But if
it's
you were
decades and hundreds of years
you go all the way in.
It's like decades or hundreds of years of essentially composting, natural composting within the forest itself.
Right.
So yeah, it's not like you're just walking on grass or just like a hard lawn or anything like that. I get it, dude. It's like spongy
sand dune. Even though underneath those trees and in that forest is sand dune, and I'm speaking specifically of our northern Michigan forest, because I know a lot of the forests out west and even south of us is rock and boulder, and our forests are actually on you dig around in the ground, you might find a cobblestone, but you're not finding house-sized boulders or rocks anytime soon. You got to really dig. You're in
on the eastern UP, we are pure sand here. There is nothing inside our sand. We hand dug a well last year at like 30
it was the
foot.
ocean floor.
Yeah,
we were the ocean floor at one time. Well, I guess the whole earth was, but relatively in a more near past than elsewhere, I guess.
Yeah, normally, if I had time, I would have built up the soil around here a little better, but unfortunately, we were low on time, so and we couldn't let the erosion continue. It would have just ate away the wall. So we did bring in soil this time. I brought in topsoil, but that's the only thing I've added, and now everything else is. Okay. Yeah, we needed some dirt. We needed to be able to get 6 inches of dirt, and I did till in like a first 2 layers or first 2 inches with the sand. So we get like pure sand, a transition layer, and then a good 4 inches of soil mixed with our chicken compost and straw and all our good stuff. Gives us a good base layer.
I think straw is a big important one too. Well, you're going to dry out real fast in sand because it's so permeable. So you really got to have a lot of like covering on that. I think straw is a good key one there.
Yeah, it's worked out pretty good so far. It'll be interesting with the big patch here.
Chicken manure. Chicken manure would be great in that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got plenty of chickens.
So we use a deep litter method.
It's sand. We're on a sand dune here, and at home we're in a clay scraped old cornfield.
Exact opposite.
So I'm really excited to start growing stuff here.
Yeah, right. No, we do a deep litter with our chickens too. So we do a foot deep inside the coop, and it composts in there all winter, helps heat them. Then it goes out from there into their enclosed run. Once it breaks down some more, it goes to the outdoor run where it finally finishes. And by the time we pull it out of there, it is the just darkest stuff. We get some fresh straw in there every now and then because in the outdoor run, if it gets muddy or something, I'll just take a bale out there and let them tear it up. But oh man, that stuff is black gold. It mixes in so well. Chickens have been the best.
A good one is we'll use all of our leaf litter in the winter, in the fall, and we'll collect some of the leaves and keep them dry in a bag. We'll store them so that they stay out of the rain and stuff. And throughout the winter, we'll use leaves for our chicken run bed, not necessarily inside the coop, just because bacteria or molds and shit like that. But like chickens get respiratory issues really bad if you fuck with their inside the coop. So
100%.
we keep it in the run though, and it really helps deep litter in the run. And then man, the leaf mold plus the chicken shit plus the fucking
and they
feathers
go crazy for
going
freaking
on.
fresh leaves.
Yeah, they do.
Even cannabis ones.
It gives them something to do too instead of fuck with each other.
Yep, exactly. So we grow micro chicken fodder in the winter, just a 10-20 tray at a time, and just sprout some seed. It takes 5 days to sprout, and then they get a whole, and they'll eat every little bit of it. They'll pull each little strand of wheatgrass out, eat it all the way down to the root. And so that helps you got to keep them occupied. It's like putting, 20 kids in a freaking tiny little room. Sooner or later, someone's throwing a punch.
They get bored fast, man.
Yeah.
A punch, a peck, bite their face off.
Plucking ass feathers.
They're rough.
The work.
They're assholes to each other, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They'll literally eat each other if they get fucking bored enough.
Gotta get yourself a rooster. They keep them in line a little bit.
Where do chickens come from?
Chicken
ain't no way there was wild chickens up in the middle of Michigan freezing their ass off.
I think they come from China. I think they come from the continent of Asia, if I'm not mistaken.
All chickens, and we just kept them around. And
someone captured a dinosaur.
Yeah,
and then
they're definitely held back.
Domesticated dinosaur.
I've got
Southeast
one
Asia around 8,000 years ago.
Just the cutest little tiny bantam.
Been eating their eggs for 8,000 years, man.
Yep. And the
where'd you say?
thighs.
Where were they from?
Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia.
You know how many breeds? There's so many different breeds too. Chickens, like you said, bantams, and there's I don't even know.
There's thousands.
Blue,
dude.
I had so many funny ones.
Olive eggers, Americana.
You guys want to see what the OG chicken looks like? Like where chickens come from?
Leghorn.
So
you'd think. I think it's called a red jungle fowl, and that's from Southeast Asia, and it's what chickens originated from. And unsurprisingly, this is what they look like.
Okay. Well,
okay, way cooler.
That looks like a rooster too.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, this is what my bantam looks like, except he's the eighth of the size.
Right. That's what my bantam rooster looks like. They're like the perfect little example of a rooster.
Is that what the females look like? Because I
have some of those too.
Yeah, dude. Holy crap.
Look like little lizards.
Guess we gotta
Look
get
at their faces.
Little raptors.
We got one. We got one that looks just like that, and it's a bantam along with the rooster that looks just like that. We didn't know what breed it was because when you buy bantams, it's just a mix of everything, at least where we get them. And this one is like a loner, and it's like always off by its own, and it comes out of the coop last, and it's like,
It probably came out of like the Ice Age, frozen.
It's
And the other chickens are like, we don't know what the fuck that is. That's not one of us.
Yeah.
They
The
don't let it
bantams,
in.
I know the bantams we get from my work, they come from Iowa, Hooper's Hatchery, I believe. They ship them over on USPS.
That's how I get mine.
They're like 10% straight, or there's like a 10% chance of getting a male. I've heard, like a straight run is what they call it. You know.
Yeah, I go
even,
to McCarthy's out of Wisconsin, and you have to order it like a specific time because, and you have to order a certain number because otherwise they'll freeze. You know, if you have like less than 12 in the box, they'll freeze. So you can't order. And it's really interesting. But man, it blew my mind that I can order chickens and get them in the mail.
Oh yeah, have you ever walked to the post office and you hear cheep 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 cheep?
I went to the post office today and picked up some chickens today. That was part of my job, was to go to the post office and get chickens. So yeah,
Nice.
I got my chick fix today. I got my chick fix.
Nice.
Oh man, little baby day one chicks are freaking awesome too. They're so. When we got the bantam chicks, we got 24 of them because you had to order more because they're so tiny, and they're like they don't even look real. They're so tiny.
Oh yeah, no, sure.
They look like they could still fit in the egg, you know what I mean? But if you look at the bantam eggs next to a regular size egg, they're like a third of the size or so. But I gotta say, Nut Tree, you say 10% of getting a rooster, or, male on a straight run, which, like you say, in a straight run is unsexed, so it could be either. I'm surprised it's as low as 10%, because even in the pullets, which is supposed to be all sexed and female only, I've gotten multiple roosters from. So
yeah,
maybe you need to stop getting them from where you're getting them from.
Maybe.
Hit or miss.
I think that's some good advice.
We wanted a bunch of exotic breeds, so we got a bunch of.
From the family farm at home.
They're not Pokemon. They're chickens, guys. Grow up.
Gotta catch them.
We got like featherfoots and frizzles and all the weird ones, the olive eggers and the Easter eggers, and so we have
You
colored
get ones
eggs
that you can eat, and you get ones that give you eggs.
Oh, all of ours give us eggs, but some of them are just little, some are different colors, and
see, guys, it's all about the phenos. Sometimes you got bag appeals, sometimes you got effects or some different kind of value, but we'll bring it all back to weed and say, see you guys next week, and thank you so much, MBGS crew, for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having us on.
Cheers.
Thanks for having us.